What up, New York Giant Nation? It's your boy Mac, the Giants fan. Here it is June the 1st, 2026, and the New York Giants got busy today, man. Brought in 4 receivers for workouts today, and 3 of them walked away with contracts. So, without further ado, we might as well get right on to it. So, let's do it. Welcome aboard as I get ready to take y'all on this journey. The New York Giants have added 3 veteran receivers to the roster: Braxton Berrios, JuJu Smith-Schuster, and Odell Beckham Jr., the beloved Odell Beckham Jr., as we all know what he means in New York Giant history, man. But they all bring something different to the table. They're all veterans, and they all have had some pretty impressive accomplishments along their way throughout their NFL career. But they all bring something very different to the table. And let's start with Braxton Berrios, man. He has built his NFL career as one of the most reliable return specialists, man. After being drafted by the Patriots, he found his footing with the New York Jets, where he developed into a versatile weapon as a slot receiver, kick returner, and a punt returner. He later spent some time with the Miami Dolphins and the Houston Texans before signing with the New York Giants, man. And his best year was in 2021, came in 2021, where he had 46 receptions, 431 receiving yards, 2 receiving touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns. But he was also a first-team All-Pro as a return specialist and a Pro Bowl selection as a return specialist. Brings some strengths he brings to the table with his elite return ability, man. This is where Berrios definitely earns his paycheck, consistently flipping the field position and making the first defender always miss. Short area quickness, man. He's just like an absolute jitterbug in space. His change of direction skills make him dangerous on screens, jet sweeps, and underneath routes. Also, very, very reliable hands for Mr. Berrios, man. Quarterbacks trust him on third downs because he generally catches what's thrown his way. He can contribute as a slot receiver, punt returner, kick returner. He can be that gadget guy for the jet motions and reverses. But he is a small guy. He's definitely on the smaller side, only at 5'9". He ain't winning too many contested catches against larger corners. And he's not going to do too much down the field for you, man. And one thing all 3 of these new signings have in common, as we'll hit on it, all 3 of them, is their injury history, man. 2024, he had an ACL injury that took away that season, obviously, and some other recent injuries has just limited him in just 10 games over the past 2 seasons. All 3 of these guys have that in common. But for Berrios, his value comes from stabilizing the return game, providing veteran depth at receiver, and giving the offense a quick slot option. But also, man, it's a low-risk move with a potentially high return on special teams. If healthy, Berrios can become one of the most important hidden yardage players on the roster. He isn't that flashy signing, but field position definitely wins games. Every extra 10 to 15 yards on returns helps the offense, and that's where Braxton can quietly make a real impact for Big Blue if he makes the roster, man. So that's what we got for Braxton Berrios for right now, man. Veteran guy, been around the league for a little bit. Like I said, savvy, but I think where he'll be most valuable for the New York Giants will definitely be on special teams if he makes the roster. And that'll be probably why out of these 3, I would honestly say, man, he may possibly, as weird as it might sound, he may possibly have the best chance of making this roster just because of what he can provide on special teams. But let's talk about JuJu a little bit, man. JuJu obviously came out into the league 2017 second-round draft pick of the Pittsburgh Steelers, man. And definitely became right away one of the absolute best slot receivers in all of football. He was very dangerous in his years in Pittsburgh, his first 4 years in Pittsburgh. His last year in Pittsburgh, unfortunately, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he was out with an injury, and that kind of is probably what caused Pittsburgh to have reservations and didn't want to bring him back for a second contract. So in 2022, he would go on to Kansas City. And he kind of bring his career back a little bit, man, because people were starting to kind of give up on him a little bit, thinking he didn't quite have it. But that first year in Kansas City in 2022, he would go on and have 78 catches for 933 yards and 3 touchdowns and cap the season off with a Super Bowl ring. Became a reliable chain mover and slot weapon in one of football's most explosive offenses. But then 2023 came and New England brought him in. And once again, injuries were reared their ugly head for JuJu again, man. And it just also poor quarterback play just would only lead to a 29 catch season, 260 yards and 1 touchdown. So he would go back to Kansas City for the last couple of years. And a season ago in 2025, very pretty anemic numbers, 33 catches, 345 yards and a touchdown, man. But he's still a very savvy slot guy. And he's also one of those tough guys, one of the tough receivers around the league, man. JuJu plays like a running back after the catch. He welcomes contact and consistently fights for extra yards. Great slot receiver, as I've mentioned. Throughout most of his career, quarterbacks can trust him in traffic and on key situations, man, on third downs, for instance. When you really need that first down to move them chains. And he's also a very underrated blocker. It's one of the strongest parts of his game. Honestly, he'll do that dirty work. He has no problem blocking downfield on the run plays or just blocking for whoever he needs to, man. However, man, he has not been very durable over the last several years, and that could be problematic, which is probably why the New York Giants brought 3 guys in, all 3 of these guys in, man, because realistically, like I said, they all have an injury history. He's never been a burner, man, and at this stage of his career, he relies more on technique and physicality, man, than sudden bursts. But what JuJu will definitely bring to this locker room, man, is good veteran leadership, reliable slot target, third down weapon, a red zone possession receiver, and definitely a great security blanket for young quarterbacks, man. And New York Giants absolutely have a young quarterback, man. So expect to see him out there on slot packages, man, in red zone situations, possession downs when you need that clutch catch. And with his familiarity with offensive coordinator Matt Nagy from Kansas City, it should help him transition quickly to the New York Giants system. So, man, look, JuJu isn't arriving as that 1,400-yard superstar that he was in Pittsburgh back in 2018, but he's definitely arriving as a battle-tested veteran who understands how to get open underneath, move the chains, and bring stability to a receiver room that's been hit by injuries. Think of today's JuJu as a tougher, more physical slot receiver in the mode of a possession-style chain mover rather than a vertical field stretcher. His value comes from reliability, football IQ, and toughness rather than raw athletic explosion. Let's talk about, obviously, the guy, Odell Beckham Jr., man. We all know. We know most of us, obviously, New York Giant Nation. We know the Odell Beckham story, man. Came here in 2014, first-round pick, and just exploded onto the league, man. Had a tremendous rookie season, was Offensive Rookie of the Year, just set records for the New York Giants, man. And definitely, even in this short time here in New York originally, first time around in first 4 years, he was tremendous, man. Tremendous to say the least. And he just did things that were just, unworldly things. The catches he made, obviously, I don't have to really sit here and talk Odell Beckham up too much. I think most of us already know his story. Like I said, we know his story, man. But then obviously, we know about the trade. In 2019, from 2019 to 2021, he would be on the Cleveland Browns, where things just really kind of started to get away from him a bit, man. Once again, he was still dealing with a lot of the injuries that he dealt with his time here in New York, but his production definitely went down in Cleveland. And he would go to 2021 season about the midway point, right before the trade deadline. He would get traded to the Los Angeles Rams, where he kind of looked like the Odell Beckham of old once again for the remainder of that year on a very good football team, surrounded by a lot of talent, and that team would go on to obviously win the Super Bowl at the end of that season. Odell Beckham was a big part of that. As a matter of fact, unfortunately, in that game, he tore his ACL in a game which he was destined to be the MVP of that game. Had a tremendous first half in that football game, and unfortunately, he went down and would be out sidelined once again for the 2022 season. 2023, he would get back in with Baltimore. Familiarity with John Harbaugh here, do a season in Baltimore, and then 2024 he went to Miami and had another pretty anemic season as well. But obviously, we know what OJ, his hands, his route running ability, his run after the catch ability, which is just something that's mind blowing. And I believe he still has that, definitely has that in him, man. And it's the big game potential, man. When healthy, Beckham can completely change the game with a single play. We saw a lot of that in this time here with the New York Giants in the early part of his career. But obviously, the injuries and the durability, man, he's been pretty fragile throughout his whole career, to be honest. I believe he only has one complete season in the books, if I'm not mistaken. One season in which he played the entire where he was healthy for the whole season, and that's just something that's always been a problem with him, man. But OBJ gone, he still remains one of the most exciting players to ever wear the blue jersey, man. At his peak, Beckham, he combined with the explosiveness of like a Tyreek Hill, the body control of a Justin Jefferson, the highlight making ability of a DeAndre Hopkins, man. And that's a hell of a blend of things to put together, man, in one guy. And he really was really that special and that talented, man, back in the early part of his career. But at his best, Odell Beckham Jr. was one of the most dangerous receivers in football and arguably one of the most talented wide receivers in New York Giants history. Injuries prevented him from fully reaching that what many believe could have been a Hall of Fame trajectory, but his impact on the Giants and NFL remains undeniable. So for Giant fans, OBJ will always be remembered for spectacular catches, game-changing plays, and bringing the excitement every time he stepped onto the field. And hopefully he still has some of that magic left, man. But if you down with the vibe, you was feeling the vibe today, man, make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe, man, and definitely drop a comment and let me know what's going on, man. Give me your thoughts, share your thoughts. Don't cost a thing to do all of that, man. Just like I said, smash that like, subscribe, and definitely drop a comment, man. It's your boy, Mac the Giants fan. Peace. I'd like to thank you all for listening. If you was feeling this, please take time to subscribe and smack them likes. Feel free to drop a comment and let me know what you think. Don't forget to ring that bell so you know when I'm dropping new content. It's your boy, Mac the Giants fan. You can find me on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook at Mac the Giants fan. That's MACDA Giants fan. It don't cost a thing to hit that like button. Just do it. Do it. Do it.